Hey everyone, welcome back to my completionist playthrough of the Baldur's Gate Saga with SCS. And we're just about to do a scribing session and an identifying session on Senashira. So let's clear out her inventory and drink these potions of genius so that she has the necessary intelligence for those tasks. And also in between episodes, just like I said, I've removed the colors from the knave's robe she's wearing. So this is still the same good old knave's robe. It just doesn't have has its own colors that it would place on the character. So as an example, this traveler's robe has the gray and orange colors, but these ones are just natural Senashira's colors being displayed here. Alright, so now she has 70 lore, and with that she should be able to easily identify everything that we've been collecting throughout the last couple of episodes. So let's just take a look. Of course we have a lot of these two-handed swords, +1 from all of the skeleton warriors and whatnot. Then this halcyon spear from the skeleton warrior from the sarcophagus in the lower crypts. If you have a spear user, although this is only a +1 enchanted weapon, it's still worth holding on to for that electrical damage that will allow you to interrupt mages through stone skin and whatnot. Bracers of defense AC 6 that I'm going to hold on to, I think, for someone. Cloak of protection +1, some leather to sell, and the staff spear that Zar had. It uses the quarterstaff proficiency, but it's more damaging than a quarterstaff +2 would be because of the higher base damage and the +3 bonus. So Kiranai can wear this cloak, and now Anoman has a couple of wands. It has this helm of charm protection, and Korgan has this battle axe +2, just a standard +2 enchantment on that one. Helm of charm protection that protects us from charm, as it says. Wand of fear with 4 charges, then all of these wands of magic missiles that we're going to sell, 10 charges each, and AC 7 bracers. And that's it. Now it's time to scribe some spells, and I'm only going to scribe a couple of the most important ones, because I don't want to waste any more experience that I don't have to on these party members that are not going to stay with us until, for the rest of the playthrough. So Minsk and Korgan, and I also want to have Jaheira back with us, and the 5th core party member before I do like a big scribing session where I scribe everything that I can. So I'm just going to select a couple of these most important spells. Yeah, so for example, we don't need, sleep or lightning bolt. I'm going to get minor spell deflection though, and breach for sure. Oh, these high level spells like 7+, we're not going to have access. We're not going to be able to cast such high level spells for a while anyway, so we don't have to scribe them yet. I am going to take spell thrust and spell immunity, which is the most important one that I wanted to have on her. I'm going to scribe those, and that's going to be it, I think. One consideration is that I think if we scribed everything that we could, she would be able to probably reach mage level 11, which would give her a little bit more memorization slots, but I think this is fine. So now it's time to rearrange the spells of our guys. Also in the meantime, Anoman, you can use your heals, because I'm going to remove these heals from his selection, so he's not going to obviously be able to automatically cast them on rest. So I'm just going to use them quickly right now. Senashira is going to get this ring of regen. And one more on Minsk maybe. Yes. Alright, and we can rearrange our spells. So since Senashira is our only mage still, she's going to have to perform some regular mage utility duties, I guess, before we get our second mage. So I think I'm going to take Glitter Dust for now, and once we have our second mage, she's going to probably take more mirror images or blur. On level 3, I'm going to take 1 Ghost Armor, I think. It's a decent spell still in these like early and mid-game stages of Shadows of Amn. It lasts for a while, and it gives us a decent armor class. Of course, it's not as good as, a Potion of Invulnerability or Spirit Armor from level 4, but, Spirit Armor is level 4 spell, and Potions of Invulnerability, of course, are consumable and limited. So we're going to take haste and maybe slow. And here on level 4 I'm going to take 1 stone skin, and I think I'm going to limit Senashira to 1 stone skin or maybe like 2 later on, because I don't want to abuse Stone Skin for both like gameplay reasons and also aesthetic reasons, because I'm so tired of that gray stone statue look. And that's one disadvantage of Enhanced Edition, is that it doesn't have an EXE hack like the classic Baldur's Gate 2, because in the classic Baldur's Gate 2 there was a utility called Tobex, or it still is, stands for Throne of Ball Extender, and it's basically a hack that allows to hack the executable file of the classic Baldur's Gate 2 in order to change some hard-coded stuff in the game, such as the visual look of Stone Skin. And that utility was used by some mods, with SCS, as a matter of fact, has a component like that that allows you to, remove that gray look from Stone Skin. But unfortunately, in Enhanced Edition, we're going to have to endure that, I guess. And I might do one Spirit Armor for now. It's it lasts for longer. It gives us a little bit of a better armor class, and also gives us that +3 bonus to save versus spell. And also in Baldur's Gate 2 Enhanced Edition, it doesn't have that bug where we wouldn't be able to save our game when this is in effect. And it's not really a big deal. I don't really save too much, but it means that if I want to end the episode and save my game and quit playing, I won't have to wait for it to expire, I guess. And here we're going to take 2 spell immunities, and also we're going to rework Anomen's spells. And I think I'm going to maybe... No, we're not going to leave that. We're going to take 2 Remove Fear, 2 Sanctuaries, I think. Sanctuary is not that good on a cleric like Anomen, because you want to have him in the fight, in the front lines, actually using his weapon and whatnot. But Sanctuary is just, in general, a very versatile and useful spell. I think I'm going to already have maybe 1 Armor of Faith on him. He's level 11 right now, so this is going to provide him with a 15% damage mitigation. So not that great yet, but once he reaches level 15 for that 20%, it's going to be something already. So I think one is okay. And now level 2, I think I'm going to leave this 1 hold person. But since we have silences on Namara, the longsword that Kirnai has, I think I'm going to prioritize Chant, and I'm going to take 1 drop on Holy Might. Basically, Anomen is the perfect type of cleric to get a lot of benefit from spells like these self-buff spells of the cleric, like drop on Holy Might, because this is exactly what he needs. Increases in his strength primarily, but also constitution and dexterity. This is very good for him. He's going to, get a lot of mileage out of a spell like that. Now level 3, I'm going to leave this Dispel Magic. And I think when it comes to Animate Dead, this is already starting from level 11. This is a decent summon, but the real deal is the level 15 summon. This is the Skeleton Warrior with, 90% magic resistance and all the great stats. So I think we're going to have some Animated Deads on him once he reaches level 15. But for now, I think I'm going to get rid of it. I'm going to have 1 Remove Paralysis just in case. And I think I'm going to take 2 Holy Smites for some upcoming encounters. And now here, we're going to take Protection from Evil. We're probably going to leave this 1 Negative Plane Protection just in case. And I think I might take Holy Power for now. We're probably going to remove this later on, but it's a decent spell for Anomen. Because, of course, he's dual-classed from a fighter, and he's going to progress to quite high levels of a cleric, and this gives him, the fighter Thaco. So it would improve his Thaco by a lot, and of course set his strength to this really nice strength at this time of the game. And if you want to go higher in strength, you just cast this first, and then cast Drop on Holy Might afterwards to get to higher strength levels, and of course some temporary hit points. So I think we're going to get 1 of them. Now here level 5, I think I'm going to get 1 Chaotic Commands and 1 Greater Command. Here Chaotic Commands, just to talk about it briefly, it's a fantastic spell that we're going to focus on a lot, and it's just protects you from so much, and it's just very important in a lot of fights because it protects you from all of the basically mind influencing spells that you can see here, and also psionics, which matters a lot when it comes to encountering some creatures, especially mind flayers, because this is one of the very few ways that you can actually protect yourself against their psionic stuns. And because, for example, if you drink a potion of clarity, which also protects you from all these like mind influencing effects, but actually doesn't protect you from psionics. So it doesn't protect you from these stuns coming from the Mind Flayer psionic abilities, while this spell does. And it also lasts for a long while. He's level 11 right now, so it's going to last for 11 turns, which means 11 minutes of real life time and over 2 hours of in-game time. And Greater Command is a pretty nice spell. I think it's a very underrated one. First of all, it's a level 5 spell, so it goes through, and it's a disabling spell, and that's what matters here. And it goes through, of course, some protections like, you know, Minor Globe and Globe of Invulnerability. It's nice to disable some mages, especially in these like early stages of the game. It's very quick to cast, and it's an AoE spell. It's targeted on a single creature, but then it has this area of effect, and it also lasts way longer than this level 1 command spell, because it will last for 1 round per level, so 11 rounds right now. So yeah, it's a pretty good way to disable some mages in these early stages of the game. And here at level 6 for Cleric, there's a couple of decent choices. There's Aerial Servant, which is a nice summon. There's Blade Barrier, which actually in SCS is party friendly, and it's both good for like enemies that they don't like kill each other, because some clerics are going to have Blade Barrier, so they're not going to damage their friends with it. And also it makes it more useful for us. It's a pretty decent spell for a cleric like Anomen that's going to be in the, you know, in the thick of battle. And Bolt of Glory is it has that really long casting time, but it's pretty effective in some situations. Then False Dawn is a decent anti-undead spell. And then we have the Heal, of course. The Physical Mirror that we've seen in that one fight that reflects different projectiles. Yeah, I think for now, maybe just to continue with this, you know, Anomen being a melee kind of battle cleric, let's go for some Blade Barrier for now. And now we're going to... Alright, now we're going to sell some stuff to Bernard and rest. So we can, of course, sell all of these swords, the Warhammer, the spears. Here we can sell this and this for sure. All of these wands can go, and these bracers. And I'm not going to sell this longsword because it's way cheaper than when we are going to sell it for to a different vendor. And I'm going to hold on to this traveler's robe. And I think that's it for now. Also, and this Sword of Chaos essentially is going to be a quest item for us, so I'm going to put it into that bag of holding, because we're going to hold on to it until all the way until Throne of Ball, where it's actually going to be used for something. Alright, so now we can go and rest.
Hail there! I said I would return, and I have.
Sorry to have kept you waiting, but there were things I had to take care of. Now that we have met once again, there is something I must ask of you. We must go to the Harper Hold in Athkatla. So yeah, that's apparently after conferring with the rest of the Harpers, she's been asked to bring us to their hold in the Docks District. They will allow us to pass the wards of the door, but I must be with you and I must be conscious. Those are some pretty specific requirements. Anyway, she's not going to be able to tell us what that is all about, but very well, she will join us, and she's back already. So we just have to change her script back, and she actually leveled up before in Druid, so she's level 12 already, and she's going to have more spells. I think I might also give her one Armor of Faith. This level 2, man, it just... level 2 Druid, it just hurts me to look at it, man. And yeah, level 6. Let's give her like another Fire Mantle for now, and I think I'm going to hold on to her in this like back spot for the upcoming fight.
Without doubt.
I understand that Gorion was very much like a father to you. What was your relationship with him like?
And so another Anomen talk. And Gorion, of course, he was a kind and patient man and a great mentor. And Anomen is going to kind of confide in us that his own relationship with his father is terrible. His father was apparently always letting Anomen know how disappointed in him he was, and he wasn't... he was basically against his choice to join the Order. And yeah, basically a not very pleasant family experience all the way. The only good thing, I guess, is his little sister, Moira. And she's going to play a part in his questline, for sure. Yeah, so that was the unfortunate consequence of kind of like fleeing home to join the Order, was like abandoning her to stay with their father alone in that house.
Speak.
Okay, now we have to go to the docks, and we're going to stay in the docks for a while, actually. But before we go to the Harper Hold, let's just go quickly to the to this room, so that we can pre-buff a little bit, because there is going to be an encounter awaiting us. So I think I'm going to go with Ghost Armor here, and some mirror images. I'm not going to buff up too extensively. We can get some protection from evil, I guess. Jaheira, can you do something productive? You don't need iron skins for this, I think. Although they might interrupt you. So I think I am going to pre-buff with iron skins on Jaheira. And Anomen, you are going to use chaotic commands on Jaheira, because basically there are going to be two mages, and they might have some disabling spells in store for us. And basically Minsk is protected with Lilar Core. Korgan can use his Berserker Rage. Anomen has this Helm of Charm Protection, but we don't really care that much about Anomen in this fight. Kirinai is going to be kind of, I think, away from the areas of effect, and Senashira is going to protect herself with mage spells in a second. So I think this chaotic commands should go onto Jaheira, because we don't want to lose control of her. Alright, so that's it. And now on Senashira, I think we're going to use, first of all, spell immunity to enchantment, which is going to protect her against all of the different enchantment spells. So, you know, all of the you know, confusion and charming effects and emotion, hopelessness, all that, she's going to be protected until this expires or is dispelled. And also we're going to use spell immunity to abjuration, which is going to make her protected against spells like remove magic or dispel magic. So basically, as long as this spell immunity to abjuration is active, her buffs are safe. And that's a very important thing for a Kensai mage, is to ensure that her buffs, you know, stay there, because she is very reliant on them. And also I think we're already going to go invisible with Kirinai, and we're going to haste everybody, and I think that's going to be it. Alright, and now we can go to the Harper Hold and see what's up.
Will not take long.
Good day to you.
Alright, so here's Galvarey. Jaheira, my dear, it is good to see you. Apparently that pleasure is not reciprocated by Jaheira, and she was apparently called here by the Herald, which is kind of like a highest regional position of the Harpers, but it turns out that Galvarey is seeking to become one, become a Herald here in this region. And it was actually at his call that Jaheira arrived here. Yeah, Herald requires the will to establish the position. The High Heralds will judge if it is deserved. Alright, so he is going to interrogate us a little bit, provide us, or present us with some questions, and it's going to be obvious very soon that it's a farce, and he's always going to hear what he wants to hear, and you know, he's going to twist our words, and this is kind of just well, you'll see in a second where it's going to lead. So of course he's concerned about our parentage, about us being a child of Baal, because this is a matter that Harpers love to meddle in. So yeah, earliest memories. We're not going to answer him. Like, I'm not going to tell him about, like, you know, Senashira's memories and whatnot. We don't want to divulge any information to him. And yeah, as a child of Baal, have you violent thoughts? So of course we only use violence when we have to, but as you can see, he just takes from our answer what he wants to focus on. Yeah, Jaheira is going to object against that. Deception is woven into her very being, Jaheira. Can you comprehend the thoughts of an illithid or a beholder? Your Senashira is akin to these. And yeah, now comes the good one. What is your favorite color? What has that to do with anything? And this is pretty cool if you like save your game and try out the conversation and actually try out all of the different colors, because of course he's always going to take something bad that the color kind of represents. So if we say blue, for example, blue, you say, the color of sadness and despair. It should have been obvious. And Jaheira is always going to counter with something good that this color is you know, connected to. Also the sky or the ocean, in our case. Obviously this person causes much disturbance wherever she goes. My interview is just to clarify the matter. Yeah, I was to bring her here, so... You were to bring her here so that we might have her here. Nothing more. The course of action was always clear. So this response is a little bit too hysterical. Yeah, this is not as we had discussed. So Jaheira is a little deceived here, it turns out. No, but you only needed to know enough to bring them here. Extraneous information would have endangered the mission. And so of course they have a little conflict about Harper philosophy. How can you, as a Harper, as a druid, sanction the freedom of this person? What will she do to the balance? And what if she will restore the balance? What if her intent is good? It is simply not worth the risk. No, there is no choice in the matter. Senashira, you are to be confined. So yeah, she says that it is as good as death because he mentions the spell imprisonment, which is pretty horrific when you think about it. Of course, we will not submit to this. Yeah, the spell imprisonment, you will find yourself in a small container a few leagues under the earth. Quite peaceful. You are welcome to try, but I doubt you shall succeed. You have no voice here and little choice in the matter. Certainly you can fight, but there are 6 Harpers to contend with. The odds are quite clearly... Nay, Galvarey, there is but you and your 4 lackeys. I will have no part in this. Senashira, you are my comrade in arms. I know you are good and true in heart. I will fight with you against this. So yeah, Senashira being pretty cool here. And actually her reaction, during her quest line there's a couple of moments like this, where her reaction, or depending, well basically something happens, or her reaction is dependent on your reputation. And here you actually have to go very, very low in reputation for her to not stand with you against these Harpers. You have to go as low as 6 reputation or lower for Jaheira to actually refuse to take part in this encounter on either side. So she's not going to join the Harpers, but she's also going to leave our group and just basically disappear from the game permanently. But you know, this is not a great reputation, I guess, to have. So in most cases, of course, she's going to support us in this. You have made a mistake, Jaheira. With her imprisonment, I could get sponsored as herald. So yeah, he reveals his true intentions here, and yeah, that would be a big success for him, like imprisoning a child of Baal, so he could ascend to this high position in this region. And basically, like, how could the Harpers, how could they have gone so wrong with Galvarey here? Because if you remember from last episode, the spectral harpists said that kind of metaphorically, you know, you are born a Harper, and through your actions during your life, you're kind of just recognized as one and offered membership. But here, obviously, you know, Galvarey is just in it for himself and not concerned about the greater good or the balance or whatever they claim to strive for. So yeah, an encounter happens. Let's just give him some time to become hostile and get their pre-buffs. And actually, surprisingly enough, they are all evil aligned, which is going to matter for our Holy Smite spell from Animan. But yeah, I guess the Harpers, maybe they were once good, but then became evil for some reasons. Anyway, we're going to immediately go with Kiranai to backstab this guy. Oh, let's present them first. So there are first 5 dudes. They are all level 10, except Galvarey, who is level 14, and he's a fighter. Then Kale is a Kansai. Besson and Nadanal are mages, and Iko is a thief. So we're going to go and backstab Iko with Kiranai. We're going to approach with Senashira and Minsk, so that Galvarey doesn't use his bow. And yeah, we're going to allow them to get their pre-buffs before we do anything else. Or actually, we might already use Corgan's Berserker Rage and approach with him as well. A little bit forward. Okay, Galvarey is now hostile, so I'm going to cast Insect Plague on him. And there's also a trick with Insect Plague that I'm going to explain in an upcoming encounter. But basically, I'm never going to use it in a cheesy way. I'm always going to cast it like it's kind of intended to be cast. So directly on an enemy, like I'm doing it now. And there's going to, of course, be the travel time for the Insect Plague, and then it spreads onto different characters. So of course we're aiming for the Insect Plague to spread onto both of these mages, but we'll see how all of that goes. And with Anomen, we're going to do one Holy Smite in the middle here, because since they are all evil aligned, I'm not really looking to do too much damage, especially since once these pre-buffs trigger for the mages, they surely have some globes of invulnerability, or like minor globe of invulnerability, actually, most likely. But maybe we'll be able to blind either Kale or Galvarey. They are actually pretty dangerous fighters in SCS, and they can dish out some damage. So yeah, we can, I guess, attack... actually, instead of Galvarey, we can attack Kale. She is way more dangerous, I think. She can actually dish out some Kansai damage. Corgan is just going to go forth, and we're going to position ourselves for a nice backstab behind Aiko. Yeah, he starts shooting the crossbow. And yeah, they have your usual pre-buffs with stone skins, improved invisibility, minor globes, and whatnot. So this is also a good opportunity to use that greater command, but I'm going to first wait for that Insect Plague, see how it works, and then maybe we're going to use the greater command to disable one of these mages if Insect Plague is not on them. Well, we'll see how the situation unfolds, basically. I think Corgan can go and attack Nadinal. Alright, and this is fine. Here we're just going to position Kirinai nicely and switch to her melee weapons, and do a nice backstab on Aiko. Alright, so 50 damage on him, and he is near death, so continue fighting him. The Holy Smite should happen very soon. You can now maybe stand back and use your bullets, use your sling onto some of these guys. They didn't really cast anything yet, except Magic Missile and Senashira, doesn't really matter. Galvarey actually has Oil of Speed, so he's going to also be able to dish out some damage. Yeah, he switched to his melee weapon. Now, oh wow, Kale already, since Senashira and Minsk are both hasted and can, you know, are capable of doing some real physical damage, she is already near death, and that is very, very good, because she is a dangerous damage dealer if left alive. Okay, and that was also a remove magic, I think, yeah, on Minsk. And so Minsk lost his haste, but I think everything else should be cool. Of course, Senashira is immune to that. Immune to that. And now Insect Plague is on its way. So we'll see if it's able to affect some of these guys. Alright, Kale is dead already, and we're going to leave Minsk to fight with Galvarey and just keep him occupied. And I think we're going to switch Senashira to attack Besson, and we'll see if this Insect Plague is going to be able to affect some of these mages. Okay, it's going to affect both of them, so that's very cool. They are now under the effects of the Insect Plague, and they are only going to be able to unleash like spell sequencers and stuff like that, which I'm not very concerned with. And so, yeah, I think we're in the clear. Galvarey has a potion of magic protection, but it's not going to matter because I'm not going to use any magic on him. I think in order to avoid some traffic jams, I'm just going to have Kirinai attack the other mage, and we're going to focus on Galvarey here. He is pretty tough to kill. He has some pretty good armor and a lot of hit points, but with our physical damage, with our haste and everything, yeah. Wow, that was very, very. Everything turned out very well. And this fight can be definitely nastier than that. So let's loot what they had quickly. They have some goodies, especially a particular ring that we're going to get in a second. So might give Minsk some potions. Also, we can rearrange our party now to our standard composition. I think we're going to stay like that for now. Yeah, there are 2 darts of stunning. Might as well just keep them in our ammo belt. Another AC6 bracers. Right here we have. Oh, Kale, of course, didn't actually manage to drink her potion of fire giant strength. Very nice. And she has a katana +1. Oh yeah, here's the ring. There's a ring of wizardry, but it's called. Oh, I'm going to use our glasses to identify it. The reaching ring, and it gives us an additional level 5, level 6, and level 7 memorization slot. So right now it's not going to be used to its maximum effect because, of course, Senashira only can cast level 5 spells. But that will still give her an additional spell slot. And I think I'm going to use this Cloak of Protection +1 on her and give the +2 ring to Jaheira, which is of course meant to be our heaviest like armor class character. We can give this amulet to Animen now. And yeah, so she now has a level 5 additional spell slot, but basically we're going to give this ring to our second mage once we obtain him. And Senashira is going to end up with a different ring that's going to give her some bonus slots for different spell levels. And yeah, here we have Galvarey with another potion of invisibility, 2-handed sword +1. Yeah, just some general goodies like that. And he has a plate armor +1, and actually we might use this on Animen. And this amulet, stay on Jaheira for now. And yeah, that's it.
What is it?
So Jaheira basically went and supported us against her own, I guess, other members of the Harpers, and that's going to be a focal point of her storyline from now on. But anyway, let's quickly go to the second floor here. So the spectral harpists are gone, which is going to be an observation that we're also going to kind of make later on, because this is not the last time we're back at this Harper Hold. But anyway, something that I feel not that many people know of is that if we go back here and look into one of these chests, we're going to find something interesting. So what's this we have here? Montaron's body. And we get 20,000 experience for finding it here. And yeah, so Montaron was not captured. He was killed by the Harpers here, and his body was hidden. And so that we would of course fall for that whole like bird polymorph thing. So I might drop this this body here, and basically Montaron ended up in Baldur's Gate 2 just like he ended up in the Baldur's Gate 1 portion of our playthrough. So definitely when it comes to our playthrough, that wasn't a good one for Montaron, not at all. But yeah, we're done with the Harper Hold for now, and I think, yeah, just in time. So this is going to be it for this episode. I thank you for watching, I hope you enjoyed it, and I'm going to see you in the next episode for some more adventures. So take care.